Some people say, oh, it's just Bible. So let's look at how they describe work, hard work. It says, hard work is the ability to perform a task or activity with strenuous, persistent effort, whether physical, mental, or emotional. It is associated with diligence, a deep-seated belief that work is inherently good. And then another description in another dictionary says, hard work is something requiring much effort to accomplish, either physical, mental, or emotional. It's labor, it's toil. So one thing is clear. It is mental, it is emotional, and it is physical. So if you go into Genesis 2:15, it says, the Lord God took the man and put him in the Garden of Eden to walk it and take care of it. So the first thing we need to know there is work is a God-given responsibility. It's a God-given obligation. It is a requirement. An obligation, it is not a curse. We must work. Part of God's original design for human purpose and stewardship character. God himself was a hard worker. And as such, he was industrious. That you can? Are you just working because that you can? Are you just working because, let them not say I didn't do it. Or how are you working? What is the style and manner? Are you putting your all into the work you're doing? You know, are you, even when you feel you're not being well remunerated, when you feel time. For some people, you know, they see themselves down there and they're like, oh, because I'm down there, I'm just going to time. For some people, you know, they see themselves down there and they're like, oh, because I'm down there, I'm just going to mess it up. If you mess it up, you're not going anywhere higher. So think of mess it up. If you mess it up, you're not going anywhere higher. So think of it. We need to think global, but act. Nigerians, Africans in general, Nigerians in particular, we love parties and we like this thing of souvenirs. I don't understand what it means. If it means you selling groundnut, if it means you hustle, you know, find something to hustle on. You know, it can be, okay, use your hands. God gave us hands to use. If you want to learn, find something. And the people who say I'm not doing much are the ones who want to appear really big. You know, they're the ones who come to ask you for things that are ridiculous. So I'm like, what does that mean? You know, the Bible says in Proverbs 22:29, it says, seest thou a diligent man? He will stand before kings and not before mere men. That is what happens when you put in all your effort. You are seen. You may not be seen today, but trust me, somebody is looking at you. Somebody is actually looking at you. You may not see that person. The person is seen when you get to work. The person is seen how you're working. The person is seen when you go out. There's some people, all they go to do at work is to watch movies. Am I wrong? Yeah. And there's some people that all they go to do at work is to gist. Make your office a very happy place, but do the work. Let them know that you are doing it. Let it even be that they'll say, when that girl is not at work, something is missing. That is the kind of image you want to give them at your place of work. Let them know that, Shade went on vacation and the office is not the same. That is working. God honors that diligence, and he honors the diligence we're talking about with provision and stability. You know, there's in church, we always say, pastor has taught us that, and we know we have seen it in all our lives. We will never be stranded. That is what happens. You know, when you walk with diligence, the Lord honors you with provision and stability. That is, you will not be stranded. When it looks like you're falling into a ditch, a door will open. In fact, then many more windows begin to open, and you'll be like, what just happened? And all your barns will be filled. That's what happens when you walk with diligence. You know, hard work, it leads to blessings and it leads to provision. Empty words bring nothing, but hard work is productive. I'm going to refer us to Proverbs 14:23. It says, all hard work brings a profit. It didn't say a. It says all hard work. Even you cleaning your house, even even things that you can choose not to do, even you keeping your neighborhood clean, all hard work brings a profit, but mere talk leads only to poverty. There's some of us, all we do is talk. That deal. I'm working on it. You will see. In another year, you're going to see what is going to happen. When I finish it, I'll buy a Range Rover. I've heard it many times. It's talk, empty talk. And it's not leading you anywhere. Proverbs 10:4, it says, lazy hands make for poverty, but diligent hands bring wealth. Do we have lazy hands? Sometimes, for a lot of people, all we do is sleep. You sleep from morning to night. I'm just chilling. I'm just chilling. And we chill all day, you know. Proverbs 22:29. If you are uniquely gifted in your work, you will rise and be promoted. You won't be held back. You'll stand before kings. That was what we read earlier. And I just put that into, often I like to go into the Message Bible because it makes it easy to understand, you know. And then when you go to TPT, it actually even now breaks it further, you know. You can see yourself in it. You'll be like, the gaps. It says, if you are uniquely gifted. Who is not uniquely gifted in all of us? We are all uniquely gifted. Some people, when they open their mouth to talk, you will know they should be working with a radio station. Some people, when they fight, you know that they should be looking at law school. You know that they are ready to. Some people, when they package, if you give them groundnut and they cook groundnut, you will know that this one, even if you are not a chef, you can teach people how to cook. Some people, when they package things, you will look at it and you'll be like, I never saw it. There was a day I saw something recently. You know the cup, that normal plastic cup. They cut around it, put sweet inside, and made it look like a basket. I was like, what happened to my own brain? But you know, that's not I'm not uniquely gifted in that area. In fact, it took me a long time to know what it was. I kept thinking, this thing is fine. No. It was at the party, this thing is fine. No. How did they? Then all of a sudden, I saw the cup. I said, hey, Bola, you have, but that's not my gift. And you need to know. You don't run somebody else's race as you are doing your hard work. Because if you run somebody else's race as you are doing your hard work, you will fall flat and you will fail. So, you know, what God has told you to do, be consistent. Follow it. You know? And then it says, you might be smart, but if you do not improve yourself by acquiring new skills, through training, studying, shadowing, and sometimes even changing careers, if you are unhappy or dissatisfied with where you are, it is never too late. You can always start new things. Last night, I was talking to a sister of mine, and she said something that really, talking about always improving yourself. She said she had a friend when they were living in Port Harcourt, and this friend used to bake the most awful cakes. That, you know, her cake was so bad. And that they all used to kind of, you know, talk behind her back. They told her, but she wasn't listening. And so they had a child's birthday party. And so they had ordered cake from Lagos from then. This was when they had ordered cake from Lagos from Cakes and Creams. And so they had said that when they get to the patio, this particular cakes and cream, they should hide it. And, you know, so that they can all enjoy it. They should distribute the girl's cake. She said she doesn't know what made her, that while they were all gossiping about her, the girl was improving herself. That she tasted the cake, and the cake was the real deal. That she had to go and tell the other 3 people that, taste the cake. That they were, no. She said, taste it. When they tasted the cake, she said they had to change their strategy. They hid hers and distributed the one they brought from Lagos. Not only that, she said to me, today, for that girl to take orders from you, you must know somebody who knows her. That she's so busy, and that is the strategy with improving yourself. You know, you may start strong. You may not start strong, but if you continue to work at it, you will get there. And that is, you know, that truly is what it takes to say you have a plan, have a roadmap. You're working hard. You're going. Just keep going. And you're getting better. You're getting higher. And then one day you find yourself at the top and you look back and you'll be like, is this me? That is what it means when you say you're putting in your best. Idleness leads to lack. A lot of us are idle. Idle. We're just doing nothing. And you know, when you're idle, the devil always finds work for you. Plenty work. You know, you'll be roaming to and fro like the devil, looking for whom to devour. So, foresight on its own, with diligence, it gives us security and independence. There's nothing like being independent. There's absolutely, when you know you want to buy something, and you can say, you don't have to always buy it. I can look at myself today and say, I'm not talking of me, so please let nobody, I'm just saying, it's nice for me to be able to wake up and say, I want to bless Bola with a new iPhone. And I walk into a shop and I buy it. And I don't have to go to my husband and say, Daddy, please, can you borrow me? That is independence. And that is what hard work does for us. Proverbs 6. I'm going to spend a bit of time on Proverbs 6:11. It's something we all know, but I would take it one by one. It says, when you're feeling lazy, and I would like for us to, if you can do TPT, I'll be very grateful. It says, when you're feeling lazy, come and learn a lesson from this tale of the tiny ant. I was going to put a picture of the ant. We don't see ants. Especially, I'm talking about the soldier ants. They're little. They're very little. We trample over them without even doing it. It says, yes, all you lazy bones. It's us they're talking to, all of us. Come learn from the example of the ant and enter into wisdom. At different points in our life, we all feel lazy. And there's nothing wrong with feeling lazy. But don't stay lazy. That's the lesson. 7. The ants have no chief, no boss, no manager. They are using their common sense. God has taught them. It's not somebody waking up and saying, go, my friend, go and do that memo and bring it back for me. They know when to do the memo. They know when to gather. It says, no one has to tell them what to do. They just do it. The lesson here is you can take absolute control. You don't need to. Have initiative, is what we are being told here. You don't have to. If you are doing a business, Google can be your best friend. ChatGPT. The first best friend you should have is the Bible. The Bible has lessons for everything. Even when you are going wrong, if you go, even if you are lazy, go and Google it. Just go Google that thing, laziness. It will give you 1,000,001 things on laziness in the Bible. If you say, I don't know where to start from, then you can start from each one and begin to see which ones apply to you. If you see hard work, Google it. And say hard work in the Bible. It will give you many. Start from there. If the Bible is such a useful tool. And it also guides us, it directs us, it also corrects us. So don't be confused about it. It says that you can take control and you are in charge. You are actually the one who is in charge. Nobody else is in charge. Give it your best. Go for it. Give it the best shot you can ever give it. And if it's not your best, you do it again till it's your best. You know when you're giving your best. Don't fool yourself. And we all know when we're giving our best. Sometimes you say, I've done it, I've tried, I'm not doing it again. You go back there. Rest a while and go back. It will happen for you. When you go to, in verse 8, it says, you'll see them walking and toiling all summer long. They are stockpiling their food in preparation for winter. How do you prepare for your next day? For some of us, it's when we wake up. We know work starts at 8. It is at 7:45 that I'll be looking for what to wear. Have I prepared? And then it is at 8, I start ironing. Of course, I'm already late. So then I will get to work and I'll tell them it's traffic. There's a question I always ask them at work. If you had children, will your children not get to work? You take your children to school. Your children are never late to school because they cannot be late. But you come to the office and give excuses about why you're late. You say Lagos traffic. Is it new? Lagos traffic has been since Lagos existed. Even when it is worse, on some days they say it's rained. You saw where the clouds were gathering, You did not get ready. And you know that when this rain starts, so you should leave earlier. We have a way of giving excuses. And those excuses, the ants don't do that. They don't say, the summer will be late this year. So because summer will be late this year, let's start planning later. They do it when they need to do it. And so let's be mindful of that in all we do. Are we prepared for eventualities in our life? Are we? Some of us will say, by the grace of God, I know God. Yes, God will do it. But God gave us brains. He gave us hands. Those hands and brains he gave us, it's not for us to play with. It's for us to use. So because God will do it, I should spend all the money that I've earned buying rubbish. Or just, just doing nonsense, not investing it or not thinking of my future. When people come and they say, Sister Bola, please, can you give me money? I should just go into my whole savings and dash them. It's not everybody that even asks you that you should give. Ask God before you give. Should I give? There's some people that God is taking them through their season to learn. You, Mother Christmas, you now give. From the hard work that you have done, don't do it. Ask God. It took me a long time to start asking. Initially, I used to feel like the victim. Why me? Why me? Why me? Then someday I listened to Pastor Sobande and he said, there's some people that God put them on that road to learn. Are you bigger than God? The lesson, if you give them what you are not supposed to give them, they will not learn what God has. So, already you've sinned. You can ask yourself, how prepared are you really? Number 9, it says, so wake up, sleepyhead. Wake up, sleepyhead. How long will you lie there? When will you wake up and get out of bed? If you keep nodding off and thinking, I'll just sit back a while and take it easy. Just watch how the future, it says, I'll just sit back a while and take it easy. That happens to a lot of us, especially when things aren't going your way. There's some mornings you'll be like, I just don't want to wake up. I don't know if everybody has felt that way. No, I don't say I don't want to wake up, but I'm like, I just don't want to get out of bed. Sometimes you're so overwhelmed. Maybe certain things have not made you happy, and you're like, I don't want to get up. I just don't want to get up. But it happens to each and every one of us. You need to get up. You just keep going. Just keep it moving. God is with you. He's backing you up. He's carrying you at that time. Remember, we said this last week. That is when he's carrying you. Don't miss it. When you don't want to do it, remember that is when God is carrying you. It says, we should not procrastinate. I will do it tomorrow. Some of us are so good at procrastinating. I have a test, though. I'm a student, and I know my test is next week. If I start reading, I always tell children, I tell my children, every day when you finish your class, what you studied today, go over it today. Every day. Don't say I will do it at the weekend. Sincerely speaking, that strategy is a strategy that will fail you. Because all manner of things happen. All manner of things happen. When I'm traveling, I start packing 2 weeks before. All my friends laugh at me. Now they're all trying to copy me. I would have opened the suitcase, I'll be dropping. The last day, if something happens at work and my last 3 days are busy, I'm fine. I just carry my bag and I go because I've done everything. And that is called preparedness and hard work. Because I know it's not like I have the time, but I do it because I know that and the week you're traveling is the week everything always seems to go wrong. So you've got to kind of prepare yourself and plan very hard. 11 says, by making excuses, you'll learn what it means to go without. Poverty will pounce on you like a bank and move in as your roommate for life. May poverty not move into as a roommate. There's nothing as bad as being poor. Especially when you are the cause of your poverty. You would then start having regrets. And what I say in this case is deny yourself of things. Take ownership. A lot of us will find excuses. It's not really my fault, my parents didn't try enough for me. They didn't leave me anything. They didn't leave anything for many of us. And we're moving on. We gave them to, and they still, No, that's not an excuse. Some people will tell you, hey, I'm not smart. There were so many people that had, in the Bible, there were so many, I'm not, I'm a stammerer. There will always be an excuse. So excuse is not new. But when you start giving yourself the excuse, knock yourself on the head. Bola, you're not being reasonable. You are deceiving yourself. The worst thing anybody can do to themselves is to deceive yourself. If you are deceiving yourself, you are dead. I'm sorry to use that word. Because really, you are not telling yourself the truth. It's like I'm a thief. And I'm saying, no, I'm just borrowing it. It's never going to work. Because I will continue doing the wrong thing and I'll be justifying it. We're talking about working, earning, saving, progressing, prospering, investing, and even having other streams of income. Because you have a job and you're working hard at work, if an opportunity comes when somebody says, you know how to bake, and somebody says, I'd like for you to make cupcakes for my... you jump at it. You jump at it. That is extra money. That money, you save. You know, there was a day one of our tenants said to me, she said, Bola, what do you do? How do you save? I just save. I just put aside money. She said, you need to now begin to put them into boxes. She said, your children are going to get married. Begin to put in some money into an account for when they get married. That was wisdom. Nobody had ever, my mother didn't teach me that. She taught me to save, but she didn't teach me. And when that lady said it, I understood that you can actually save in compartments. Just as we do in church. You have building fund, you have money for the media. You can do that. Target your money. So when somebody comes, you'll be like, no, this one can't go because it's for this purpose. Number 5, hard work enables us to meet our daily needs and even provides an opportunity for us to give to other people. If you look into the book of Acts 20:34-35, it says, you all know that I've worked with my hands to meet my own needs and the needs of those who have served me. I've left you an example of how you should serve and take care of those who are weak. For we must always cherish the works of our Lord Jesus, who taught, giving brings a far greater blessing than receiving. This is Paul, and Paul is known for his tireless work in spreading the gospel. He sets an example of spiritual and physical diligence. We'll talk a little bit about Paul and Ruth just before we close. If you go into the book of Colossians 3:23 and 24, it says, put your heart and soul into every activity you do, as though you are doing it for the Lord himself, and not merely for others. For we know that we will receive a reward, an inheritance from the Lord himself, and not merely for others. Hard work is an act of worship. Work should be done with all sense of excellence to God. You know, we used to teach the children, what would Jesus do? It's not only for children, it's for us too. You know, that boss that is stepping on your toe, I used to go and slap her. Should you return her words, or you should love more? The more she hates you, the more you'll show her love. I think it was, I was talking to one of the children in church last week, and she was telling me about how she's doing an internship somewhere. She came to me and said, her boss stole her idea. I said, welcome to reality. I said, so what are you doing now? She said, I said, you know what? When you're going to work on Monday, buy 2 meat pies for her. You eat one, you give her one. She said, but Auntie, I don't want to. I said, you will do it. I said, you know why? The more you love them, the more they realize that they have done wrong. But if you hit them with the same stick, they will be nastier to you. You know, there's something in the Bible that says a man's gift makes a way for him. She says, but I don't want to spend on her. I said, spend on her. How much is meat pie? No issues. We'll get to that. Knowing that you will receive a reward, an inheritance from God, should be enough motivation for you to work harder. And, you know, I'm going to just spend some time here. I'm just going to quickly read Galatians 6:9, and then I'll say something. And do not allow yourself to be weary in planting good seeds, for the season of reaping the wonderful harvest you have planted is coming. A lot of us get weary because we've sowed, we've toiled, we've labored, and it just looks like it's getting worse. But you know that when you're about to get your breakthrough is when it looks darkest. It is at that point that you will feel like it's not worth it. But that's the point you should hold on. You will begin to look at it and say, I've been working here for 9 years, I haven't been promoted. I've been doing this for 10 years, nothing is happening. That promotion may not come. But the Lord may bless you in other ways that will even take you out of that job into other opportunities. Don't take it as a standstill. See it as a breakthrough in the making. It is a breakthrough in the making, and the making will come through. 7 says that it's called hard work because it's not easy. Nobody said our lives our life was a walk in the park. If it was a walk in the park, the earth itself wouldn't be like this. You can imagine if we all didn't have to work. There would be chaos. You just wake up, you sleep, you lounge, you wear your pajamas, you go out. Just, as you see the Gen Zs showing up in shop in pajamas, I'm like, what is wrong with these guys? Things we never used to see, we're seeing them. Pajamas is in-house clothing. It's not out. They just come as if you wake up. Sometimes they'll tell you, I just woke up and went to classes. The whole process is to prepare you for real living. It's not just anyhow. Life is not easy. Being an adult is hard. It's not a joke. Even having to make decisions, Michelle, I can see your face. Yeah, it is hard. But you know what? With God by your side, it's a piece of cake. It will get hard, but you'll come back and say thank you. When you sometimes look at, I say it all the time, I say when I was being raised, my mom was hard. But the hardness is what has made my life easy. There's nothing I cannot do. I can walk into a place where there's poverty and I will fit in. Like that is where I came from. Honestly, I can. When I get into the palms and I'm showing the cleaners how they wash toilet, they can't believe it. I get on my knees and I tell them, this is what I expect of you. And then you can see that they understand that she's not just wearing dress to pose. She's a village girl. There's some friends of mine call me Arauke. I say, yes, I'm a bush girl. Don't worry, I'm bush. Even my husband says I'm Kire. I say, it's fine. Leave me as my Kire. Those are values that I picked. And the truth is, in Yoruba, we say, Ishe logu ishe, Ishe lafin deni giga. It is hard work. It's only through hard work. A few people, how many people do we know that honestly don't, even the people that we sing, the Davidos of the world, is it easy? See a truck, somebody pushing the truck, is it easy? And those ones, at the end of the day, they will count, even those guys that chase you on the road to buy water, would you trade what you are doing for them? It's not easy. Do you know how many Panadols they use in a day? You will run, somebody will still carry your money. It is not easy. Hard work is hard work, and we must work hard. There is no food. That thing that they always write, no chop for lazy man. It's spot on. Spot on. Sometimes at work, I've already said it. I said, even when you're treated unjustly, please calm down. Sometimes God is reworking you. Is resetting you. Just calm down. I'm saying that again because we've all been there. Just stay calm. You will hold your peace and the Lord will fight for you. If you are struggling with how to handle it, Google it. Just put calmness. Google will tell you calmness in the Bible. Google will lead you to where you will find it. And then leave it. 2 Corinthians 11:23-28, it says, are they servants of the anointed one? I'm beside myself when I speak this way. I am much more of a servant than they. I have worked, this is Paul speaking, I have worked much harder for God, taken more beatings, and been dragged to more prisons than they. I've been flogged excessively multiple times, even to the point of death. 5 times I've received 39 lashes from the Jewish leaders. 3 times I've been shipwrecked. For an entire night and a day I was adrift in the open sea. In my difficult travels, I've faced many dangerous situations. Perilous rivers, robbers, foreigners, and even my own people. I've survived deadly perils in the city, in the wilderness, with storms at sea, and with spies posing as believers. I've toiled to the point of exhaustion and gone through many sleepless nights. Is there any of us that can say we have gone through this? 39 strokes. Even if your boss tries, you hold his hand. You say, is it not work I came to do? For what now? I'm leaving. That's the normal way we behave. You say, what? Kilo fire. That is us. But that's not that's not the charge. I will briefly just like to talk about Paul. As many of us know, Paul wrote a lot of books. And I'm going to say some of the books so that we know how hard he worked. He was a model of hard work and diligence. He wrote 13 books in the Bible. Romans, 1 Corinthians, 2 Corinthians, Galatians, Ephesians, Philippians, Colossians, 1 Thessalonians, 2 Thessalonians, 1 Timothy, 2 Timothy, Titus, and Philemon. One man wrote 13 books in the Bible. Not today that you have many things you can use to write. Then, today you can, even writing, you can say, ChatGPT, write a book for me or my life. It will ask you, when were you born? It will ask you, it will give it to you. He was not only known for his written epistles, but also for his tireless work in spreading the gospel. He set an example of spiritual and measurable diligence. First Corinthians 15:10 says, and this is him, I worked harder than any of them, yet not I, but the grace of God that was with me. This is a reminder that as you put in your hard work, when you begin to enjoy the fruit of your labor, don't boast. Not in yourself, but boast in the Lord your God. Because He's the only one who gives you an opportunity to make wealth. Not you. It's not, a lot of us say, I. It's not I. It's He. He did it for me. He did it for me. We're quick to say, when, we should learn to say it's by the grace of God. It's not because we have earned it. None of us have earned it. It is mercy. Anu la rigba. And then Acts 20:33-35. Paul reminds the Ephesian elders that he worked with his own hands to provide for himself and others. Are you providing for others? As you're making that money, as you're working hard and enjoying the fruit of your labor, who have you taken under your shadow to say, let me look after this person? Some of us have so much, and some have none. The other day, I went into somebody's shop, and I saw a boy, I think he was 8, and they were calling him Onishe. And I'm like, what is this boy doing? So they said, the lady sells drinks, and the boy was strolling in the neighborhood, Ogombo, and he wasn't working. He wasn't going to school. At 8, you should be in school. So her husband took him on and started paying his school fees. So when he has free time, he comes to help her, take drinks. So they call him Onishe. That is what we all should be doing. If you see a gap, fill it. If you can't fill it, fill it. If you can't, sometimes all you even need to do is mention it to a friend. Oh, by the way, I'm trying to raise funds for somebody who has cancer. They will drop. And together you'll be able to do it. Don't go solo if you can't afford it. Mention it. There are people who have money and don't even know that they need to be kind, but they are your friends, and because they trust you, they will do it. So find somebody who can go on that ride with you. 1 Thessalonians 2:9. Beloved brothers and sisters, surely you remember how hard we labored among you. We worked night and day so that we would not become a burden to you while we preached the wonderful gospel of God. Paul recalls how he labored night and day so as not to burden the believers. What this is saying to you is what I just explained. Find somebody. Because if you keep carrying the burden on yourself, you will tire. You get to that point where you'll be like, is it me alone? But mention, we're brethren, we're sisters, we're brothers, and we're willing to help. A problem shared is a problem solved. Paul worked hard in 3 ways, in 3 areas. He was a tent maker by trade. I'm sure we all know that. So, You know all those canopies, those fine, fine canopies. They even have name, Marquis. Yes, Marquis. He was the correct tent maker. He refused to rely on others unnecessarily. If you want to check that, that is, being a tent maker is in Acts 18:3. He refused to rely on others unnecessarily, showing humility and self-reliance. Some people, all they want to do is to rely on people. Bros, I bet alpha now. You get 100 naira for transport? You know, why are you asking me for transport? When you were coming from your house, did you not know you would go back home? You know, some people will wait. They will tell you, your wife is pregnant. You know it's 9 months to have a baby. You are on baby 6, so. There are many people in that category. Then you now come to me. Your wife is going to have the baby tomorrow. Can I loan you? What are you talking about? Loan you money. My husband has a policy. If on your third child, he doesn't give you money. He says he doesn't have more than 2. No, he says it. He says, I don't have more than 2. So why am I encouraging them to do what I cannot do? I can't. So that's his own policy. He says it all the time. And I'm like, Fusha, that's mean. But you know, that is he says it all the time. There are genuine instances where these things are necessary. But you know, what I'm saying is, you are working for a boss. You have a boss. Your boss has 2 children. You do number 3. You do number 4. Then you are coming to me to ask me for a loan. You are not getting a loan. You cannot, because you have not planned your life. And I cannot be suffering for your lack of planning. It's not fair on me. That's my position on that as well. He traveled thousands of miles on foot, by sea and by land. Some people will say that was hustling. It was ministry work he was doing. But he did travel thousands. He planted churches. He discipled leaders. He wrote letters. Those are the things we just said about. He endured persecution. He was imprisoned. And he endured a lot of hardship. He did not quit. We are not quitters. We do not quit. The battle is the Lord's, not yours. When you quit, then it's your battle. In his spiritual walk, he was tireless in prayer. He was tireless in prayer, teaching and preaching. He corrected false doctrines and strengthened he strengthened a lot of people. You know, he gave them the strength to move on because they looked at him. They saw the strength with which he carried on the work of God. That was Paul. How many of us can do what Paul did? Nobody's answering. You can try. That's the right thing to do. We can all try. And we can all try. I'm also just going to briefly talk about another person in the Bible. Somebody we all love, Ruth. You know, when we talk about Ruth, I don't know if you can please help me open the Bible. We're going to take it from Ruth 2. We're going to take it from Ruth. We start from 2 and then we go all the way to 12. The person calling me is somebody that I met yesterday and I invited him to church. He said he was hustling. We saw him on the road. Mary and I, when we went to try and get flowers for church, the guy said that he was hustling. So I told him, I said, you know what? Let's take it nice and easy. Come to church and then we'll talk about your hustling after. Ruth's story tells us about diligence. It also tells us about humility and faith in God. You know, that diligence, the humility, and the faith in God, it can transform any ordinary life into something that will become a lasting legacy. Today, everybody talks about Ruth. How many of us can really be like Ruth? You know, in Yoruba, we say Ruth, Abokoku. That's you know what that means? Ruth, the woman who died with her husband. The woman who died, who wants to die with husband's family and everything. But we look at it from a different way. She took initiative. When Ruth said to Naomi, he said, let me go to the fields. She could have said, I've been suffering with you people since. I don't want to do any. It's enough. It's even, and a lot of us understand. You know, sometimes that thing of otito is enough. I've just had enough. That word, it resounds in my, you know, even me, I'm a good user of it. I'm really fed up. I'm done. I'm so done. Ruth was not done. She was not done. And she did not wait idly. She looked for the opportunities. And that was what led her to where she went to. She was also very diligent. Extremely diligent. Because it was said about her at work that she has been hard at work from morning until now. Meaning she was working hard. You know what she was doing now? And as she was doing it, they were also helping her. She was not doing it. She was doing her own. You know, you'll be doing your own and God will be doing his own. But if you don't do your own, God cannot do his own. So you need to do it both ways. That consistency is what set her apart. If she had gone there and lazily, idly, or annoyingly done the work, and then step, you know, they would have looked at her and said, see this unserious woman. Who wants to take this one further? But her consistency, her diligence, her not cutting corners is what kind of, even if it had been a setup, you know, let's say, okay, somebody had said, this woman, we marry this person, oh, but the woman there goes and does something. You say, is this the one I want to use, make a wife? She earned it. That's what I'm trying to say. She combined her hard work with humility. She bowed to Boaz and acknowledged his kindness. Often, when people help us at work, we are rude. The little things, even to say thank you, some of us, is hard. We feel, you know, you feel I'm the boss. How am I supposed to say thank you to a cleaner? What are you talking about? If that cleaner puts ordinary, whatever, in your water, you will have a running stomach. And you will not know. And it happens a lot of times. You know, so we've got to always be kind. We need to be. Don't take it for granted. Some people don't even want to talk. You hear them say, what do I want to say to him? What does that mean? We are all created equal. No man is bigger than any other person. The one you are looking at today and looking at and say, this one, you don't know what tomorrow is. You don't know what tomorrow brings. She didn't act entitled, even when she deserved compassion as a poor widow. If you can clothe your diligence in humility, it will take you higher and you will keep soaring. Hard work without humility can lead to pride, and pride comes with a fall. That's the worst thing that can happen to anybody. To fall because you are proud. Nobody will raise you up, because for people to say you are proud is a character that you have displayed to many people. So nobody is willing to help you. Ruth's hard work positioned her for God's favor. Boaz noticed her loyalty and diligence, and he blessed her for her faithfulness. Eventually, her hard work and faith placed her in the genealogy of Jesus. That's in Matthew 1:5. God uses our diligence as a pathway to blessings, opportunities, and open doors. In closing, I just want to remind us that we should take initiative, we should work diligently, we should work honestly, no cutting of corners. We should combine hard work with humility. Your hard work will position you for God's favor. And may God help all of us to achieve this in Jesus' name. I would like to ask Pastor Lumide to please come up, sir. I was told that after. Okay. Sister Ife, you have a testimony. Would you please come up?
Praise the Lord.